The United States is our enemy.
See, I got a problem right now with what China's saying.
The China-US relationship is critical to the well-being of the two peoples and to the future of humanity and the world.
Versus what China is doing.
你就是我最大的敌人，我必须要把你处置了。
As a guy that lived in China for 10 years that speaks Chinese, I can assure you that there is a massive disconnect between what the government is telling the rest of the world in regards to America.
China always keeps its US policy stable and consistent.
Versus what it's telling its own people.
美国是个垃圾下三滥、不要脸的畜生国家。
So I thought, what better way to prove the Chinese government wrong than to jump over the Great Firewall back into China and use their heavily censored internet to see what people are saying about us.
处于病入膏肓的中期阶段。
As Americans, and even if you're not American, you're probably going to find this supremely entertaining.
Celebrate the freedom.
So as I scrolled through the Chinese internet, I noticed something. If I look up the word 美国 in China on the Chinese internet, whether it be on news sites, whether it be on blog posts, whether it be on the front page of China's equivalent of Google called Baidu, or on China's version of TikTok called Douyin, I noticed something. There wasn't one positive post about the US or Americans. Not one. I'm not even joking. So I wanted to go through some of this stuff. And actually, I want to hone in on the short form media aspect because Douyin, China's version of TikTok, is going to be where most people are actually getting their information in China. And that's going to be the best place for us to look. In contrast, I found this very, very ironic because when I go on the American internet and type in the word China on TikTok, literally every single post that came up was positive about China. In fact, some of it was straight up Chinese propaganda. I can't believe the utter hypocrisy and disconnect that China can go around claiming that they're the ones maintaining a stable relationship with the US. They're the ones promoting peace. And America is the bad actor here. America is the one that's trying to denigrate relations between China and the US. Let's have a look at some of their stuff then.
美国自己就不是民主国家，好不好？美国是个垃圾下三滥、不要脸。
What the So scrolling through China's TikTok, dude just called the US a trashy animal country that doesn't have any face. Let's keep scrolling. That's not a good start.
畜生国家。
The United States is our enemy. 美国是我们的敌人。
All right, bro, let's rein it in, all right? You don't have to be so direct. You know, I went out to make this video trying to be impartial, and I thought maybe I'll have to hunt around for some stuff that's both positive and negative, but it turns out I didn't have to go very far. Let's see what else this guy has to say.
The United States is our enemy. 美国是我们的敌人。
Okay.
The United States is our enemy.
All right, dude.
美国是我们的敌人。
How many times you gotta say it, bro?
The United States is our enemy. 美国是我们的敌人。The United States is our
Okay,
enemy.
dude. All
美
right.
国是我们的敌人。
大家好，小郭现在在美国的纽约的时代广场哈，现场的这里已经谈了几个了。
Yeah, so this is a huge genre I keep finding as I'm scrolling through China's TikTok here, is a ton of videos that are saying that America is full of drug addict zombies, and they keep going the same places. I notice all these videos are either in Philadelphia, in New York City, or in LA. And these people are walking around showing these like drug addict homeless people shooting up in the streets.
大家看到吗？这个就是真实的美国的纽约哈。 其实就是这样子的，你们没来是不知道，后面那个红色衣服的那个已经开始自己开始打了，地瓜粉装满了。
This is interesting to me because it's the sheer irony of the situation. You can go to China and you can find a ton of homeless people all over the place. We've covered this to death. It's something I noticed when I lived in China was there was a lot of homeless people, but it's this insane campaign that China has, you know, it being a not free country with no journalistic freedom, it can put a rosy image out there. And unless you've been to some of the areas where these homeless people are, you'd never know. Whereas the irony is that Chinese people can come to the US with absolute freedom and walk around and film whatever they want and then post it online. And I just find the irony so rich that you can go on the Chinese internet and you can't find any denigrating information about China in China. But you can find a ton of vloggers walking around America speaking Chinese, showing homeless American people. It's interesting how they call heroin sweet potato powder.
好，地瓜粉装满了。
在肯辛顿大街上，大量使用药物有。
All right. Oh my gosh. There are literally, I've just been scrolling through this. There are hundreds of these videos of just showing random like drug addict streets across America, usually in Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia.
关系的。接下来大家看到的这个女子，她现在正处于病入膏肓的中期阶段。
Now, you have to understand why China is doing this. China is ultimately trying to tell its citizens that America is a disaster. It's a bad place. You don't want to go there. If you do go there, you're going to be in danger. There's all kinds of horrible things happening. And whether that's true or not, China's ultimate goal as a government is trying to tell its citizens that life at home is better. So it's not about necessarily preventing Chinese people from going. What it actually is trying to tell people that aren't going to go to America, which is, you know, the vast majority of Chinese people, that even if stuff goes bad back in China, which the economy is doing terribly, people are losing their jobs, this is getting really bad over in China, that America is just so much worse, so you don't have to worry about it too much. That's why there's so much of this content here, and I can't believe how much I'm seeing.
就是眼前这个女子。Hello， 大家好，我是南山。
All right, we get the idea. Oh my gosh, there is an insane amount of these videos.
这2天由于个人的一些原因，更新的频率变慢了。等过2天处理完一些事情之后。
To me, it's wild that I've been scrolling through so many of these videos showing these very specific places with drug addict homeless people in America. And I haven't seen anything promoting the US. I haven't seen anything about national parks. I haven't seen anything about nice neighborhoods. I haven't seen anything about rural America. I haven't seen anything about America's industry or anything that America does well. I've only seen the worst cherry-picked attributes. It's absolutely so on the nose what they're trying to do.
Hello.
Hello.
Champion, please.
Okay, what are you celebrating?
Oh, celebrate the freedom.
What? What was that? Is this some sort of movie clip? Oh my gosh, the way that guy says that. Celebrate the freedom.
Celebrate the freedom.
That's fantastic. Is this what this is what you get when you search America on Chinese TikTok?
Cheers.
月收入能过万的不建议来，现在美国这边真的挺卷的。
This is another theme I keep seeing. I keep seeing these videos. If you search America on Chinese TikTok, it's video after video of Chinese people that live in America or have been there or do business there, and they're saying, don't come to America anymore. It's just not worth it. And they have some wild reasons as to why. This woman's saying that you shouldn't come to America if you make over $1,400 a month back in China, which would be a very large sum of money in China. That would be very, very well off.
收入真的很低，像今天我去找小工，别人跟我讲这边的小工现在只要100块，我都不相信。结果真的是。
The crazy thing about these videos is that there doesn't need to be any fact checking. No one's actually going to find this stuff out. But to claim that a laborer in the US is making $14 per day is absolutely outlandish. Even if you factor in, like, let's just say we want to talk about like Latin American immigrants that are not legally residing in the US but are trying to pick up work at Home Depot or something. You know, those migrant workers that people pick up for day laboring and stuff. I highly doubt those people are making $14 per day. That just seems absolutely outlandish. You guys in the comments, let me know if that's actually par for the course, because this is what this woman is actually saying. And this is, again, an effort to dissuade Chinese people from coming to the US because the opportunities have dried up. Keep in mind, China is unbelievably poor. Not just compared to the US, but just poor as a country. I mean, over 600 million people in China are living on unbelievably low wages. And keep in mind, the entire country is about 6 or 7 times less in terms of salary when you compare it to an American. So this just seems a bit outlandish to me. This video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is the best VPN out there. It encrypts and hides your data so that nobody can see what you're doing online and nobody can pry in on your personal info. It's fast and easy to use as you connect to the server that offers the best speed by default. It's jam-packed with features that go way beyond the basics, and it's easy to install and run on unlimited devices in a single subscription. Not only that, a VPN is fantastic for overcoming price discrimination. You can actually hop around to different servers around the world and get different prices on hotels or car rentals or all kinds of other stuff. You can also use it to open up different countries' libraries on streaming services like Netflix. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it and I recommend it. Go to surfshark.com/Lawai86 to get 4 extra months. That's surfshark.com/Lawai86 and use the code Lawai86 to protect your online privacy today.
If I were China, I would not be terribly worried about U.S. sanctions. I mean, really, seriously?
What? He said if I were China, I wouldn't be terribly worried about U.S. sanctions. Really? Seriously? Why?
China's 4 times larger than the U.S. It's perfectly capable of doing without, at this stage, practically anything the U.S. might be supplying.
I'm sorry. I'm deeply sorry. But this economist on Chinese TikTok just said that China doesn't really need anything from the U.S. Are you implying that China is self-sufficient? With the right sanctions, it would quite literally collapse. And the reason is that it's built its entire economy on manufacturing exports, so it needs the rest of the world to buy its stuff. It also has to import an insane amount of things like food to keep itself going. This is an absolutely outlandish statement. I can't believe this. But you see this, I'm scrolling through Chinese TikTok and it's just America bad, China good. America bad, China good. This just in the Russian poll. China is best friend. America is enemy number 1. Oh, I'm glad I learned that little tidbit.
Drop the knife. Oh, drop the knife.
All right. I just scrolled through video after video after video of police officers shooting people in the US. I will not show any of that. What I'm shocked about is in China, you can't show sex or violence or anything like this, but apparently you can, completely unfiltered, without age restriction or without any sort of window that says, are you sure you want to see this? Purely graphic, bloody content of people getting murdered on screen. I'm not even joking. It's just right here. If you search America, you will be inundated with hundreds, if not thousands of videos of people getting murdered. It's absolutely insane to me. It's so hypocritical of China to be blocking its citizens from everything unless it has a certain narrative to portray, unless it needs to show its citizens that America is bad. So many of these. I can't even show any of this stuff, guys.
Turn around. Turn around.
This is incessant.
Hands up. Stop.
I seriously can't believe how many videos I just saw of this. This is very disturbing. I didn't want to watch people get shot over and over again. This is awful. Chinese internet, what are you doing? You're supposed to be the most restrictive internet in the world, and you are, unless you want America to look bad. It's a little on the nose, isn't it?
China is not your enemy. China is your neighbor. China is your friend. China doesn't want war. America is not here to help you. America is here only to use you until there's nothing left, and then we will discard you on the trash heap of history.
Yikes. Just as I was doing this, I looked this dude up, okay? I've seen him before. His name's Scott Ritter. He was a former UN's weapons inspector. And this dude has been popping up left and right all over Chinese state media. Whenever I'm scrolling through Douyin, it's almost guaranteed that I'm going to find a video of him like that one. That was a speech that he did to the Philippines to tell them not to trust the US, but to trust China. And this American dude is constantly promoting China and Russia. And the more you dig into it, the more you'll see he's on all kinds of Russian state media. He's all over Chinese state media. He's all over the amplifier channels, the Chinese propaganda channels all over YouTube. And they use this guy to denigrate the US and promote authoritarian governments like China and Russia and Iran as well. I looked him up to get his name right, and literally front page news. FBI raids home of former UN weapons inspector Scott Ritter. Ritter says it's over allegations that he's an unregistered foreign agent. Well, it certainly looks like it.
China is not our enemy. China is not our enemy. China is not our enemy. Get out of our country. Stop trying to sell war in our country.
Okay, so when you search America, apparently you get this video of the Center for Political Innovation protesting against Tsai Ing-wen, Taiwan's former president. She was democratically elected, and I guess they were protesting her in New York. And what looks to me, at least, like on behalf of China's best interests, let's just say.
Stop trying to sell war in our country. We love America and we don't want to do war with China.
It's a little fishy. Well, it turns out when you go to their website, it says Center for Political Innovation by Caleb Maupin. Oh, it turns out he's a journalist for Russia Today, Russian state media. This is getting weird. If you search America, first we got that other dude, Scott. Now we have this dude, Caleb. And when you go to their newest article, it's literally about Scott Ritter's FBI raid at his home. Caleb Maupin called this raid clearly politically motivated in this video, saying that they want anti-imperialists to be intimidated. This is weird. This is really weird. You scroll through the Chinese internet for 10 minutes and you find a treasure trove of awesome content. It's starting to all make sense.
中国从来不想，也不愿意跟美国为敌人。美国已经大拉拉的告诉你，你就是我的最大的威胁者。 你就是我最大的敌人，我必须要把你处置了。
How ironic is it that all of this content out there, you scroll through and it's incessantly negative, denigrating, bad stuff about America and Americans. And then a video like this comes up to say, and no, it's America that's saying all this stuff about China. It's so ironic and so hypocritical.
The ones provoking this war, just like we provoked the war in Ukraine, we are now provoking a war with China. And who benefits? I'll tell you right now, their enemy is not China.
This Jimmy Dore guy and Tucker Carlson, China absolutely loves playing their content when I scroll through, because there's so much content about how America is so bad that they take it and they co-opt it and they put subtitles on it and they spread it out there and they say, look, even Americans and American political commentators hate America too. And this is being used as propaganda within China. It's so funny to me that a lot of people in the US will look up to political commentators like this, but not understand that this division that they're constantly fomenting is actually being used by authoritarian parties like Russia and like China constantly to continue to teach the Chinese government how to further divide the American populace for their own political benefits. Remember, China doesn't care if you're right or left or up or down or whatever. They just want more division and chaos in the US. I don't know, it gives me super bad vibes when I see this kind of stuff on the Chinese internet used by state media in China.
Again, China's not going to invade us. China's not our enemy.
I literally just sat through hours and hours of articles, short form videos, and everything on the Chinese internet in regards to the US. And I'm not kidding when I tell you I literally didn't find one positive piece of information. I'm not even joking. There is an absolute concerted effort for the Chinese government to make Chinese people hate the US, while at the same time send their diplomats and their foreign ministry spokespeople to speak on behalf of China to say that, no, it's America. That's the country that's actually promoting hatred and actually promoting all this conflict. America is at fault for this, not China. China is promoting peace and cooperation between the two countries when there's literally nothing on the Chinese internet that actually promotes that kind of stuff. I literally just sat through it. So again, it's have your cake and eat it too. Like I said before, China wants to have its hate and hide it too. They think because you don't speak Chinese, you're not going to see any of this stuff. But guess what? There's plenty of us out there that do speak Chinese. And there's plenty of ways to get that information out to you. I feel like the average American would be happy to learn something about China. Would it be happy to learn something about Chinese culture or language or food? And that's why there's a lot of positive content out there when you scroll around and you type in China on the American internet. It's the exact opposite on the Chinese internet. internet. It's so hypocritical and so ridiculous to me. I just can't believe it. Don't forget, I have my show every Friday. It's called The China Show, where I host with Serpent ZA. We are the guys that you're gonna wanna watch if you wanna see all things related to China every single week. It's the news, it's the viral stories, it's the funny stuff, it's the serious stuff, it's everything in between. You're gonna wanna make sure you're subscribed to that. I wanna thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.